Okay, Mike Masato, CEO of Staff Driven Dental and the Dental Road Warrior, returning for episode 72 in the series. Okay, buckle up, because here we go. All right, every once in a while, life and coaching in this field get me to the point where I really got to lay it on the line to those of you that are watching, particularly doctors, about a subject. And today's one of those days, just because I've been doing this with a lot with clients lately regarding staff. Now, staff is the theme of a lot of my videos that I've done. I've actually named the company Staff Driven Dental for a reason. The concept being is that I was a staff member at one time and grew into this consulting field and along the winding road. And I've maintained for many times that your staff is everything. It is a source of all of where you will go and what you will achieve in practice, depending upon the quality of staff you have, how you recruit them, integrate them, train them in your practice, and how they should be driving your practice, help you get to your goals. So really, it should all be about your staff. However, this is how you have to hear me on this. Staff can either be a tremendous benefit to your practice, they can be dead weight to your practice, or they can be a tremendous detriment to your practice. The thing is, with doctors, many of you watching this video are just too damn nice, okay? And this is what gets you into trouble. I would say 80% of the doctors that I coach, wonderful people, big-hearted, they care greatly and deeply about their patients, their staff. But sometimes, docs, staff don't reciprocate, and you don't get staff in your environment that are like that. You can attract or get people in your practice, or people in your practice can go in a different direction in terms of how they are in their life and how they're being with you and how they're approaching their job, and they go off the rails, and it could be to your detriment. Or they could just be hanging around counting the days to retirement or whatever, or they're looking for something else and they're just kind of dead wood in the practice. You have to cut bait on these people. You have to be willing to make changes in your practice. And you have no idea to what degree this is costing you every day to allow these people. Why allow staff in your practice if they're to pay for these people, right? This is your practice. I tell my doctors all the time, your name's on the door. It's your practice. You call the shots. And we're so worried about what other people are going to think about us. What will people say if I change staff? What will my patients think of me if these people aren't here anymore? What will I do without these people? What about her good qualities? Look, I know people have great qualities. I'm not saying some of these staff are wholly or entirely evil and terrible. They have good qualities, of course they do. But are they optimum staff for your practice and for you? Are they helping you achieve your goals? The proof is in the pudding. Look at your numbers. Look at where you are in practice. Look at your personal happiness and sanity in practice. Put a dollar value on that. How many times I hear from doctors, my staff's driving me crazy. This particular staff member is driving me crazy. That she's bringing me down, or he's hurting my practice. So what are you going to do about it? Why would you allow this to persist in your practice? Because we have fear, because we don't know what to do? Well, that's where coaching comes in. Get some support, get some help to get the changes you need to happen with your staff, because again, they can make or break you every single day. And remember, at the end of the day, you are their employer. You pay money for them to be there. Okay? You can have certain expectations as a leader and owner in the practice of what you want to get from your staff. Now, of course, as an owner, it's on you to make sure, yes, I bring in the right people and I train them and give them the resources and the skills to do so, and give them direction and set expectations and everything else, right? But they have to live up to their expectations and deliver on that. And if they're not good and they're not going to change and you don't have willingness anymore, and I've said this dozens of times, I must have touched on this dozens of times in these videos. The single determining factor of whether staff are going to make it there, or they're going to be worth it to continue to pay or keep going in your practice, is willingness. That's the key word here. Because once you've lost willingness with staff, you've lost everything. That's it. You can't train willingness. You can't make people be willing. You can't enforce willingness. You can't bribe them into willingness with great bonuses or money or whatever, or promises of whatever you're going to do for them. It won't happen. Willingness comes from here. It comes from the heart. It comes from the head. It comes from the gut. If they're not into it anymore, if they don't care about you in their practice, or life's taking them on a different path, or situations or circumstances happen in their life that they just can't be a part of your practice or back you up anymore, I mean, staff should be your biggest fan. They should really look at you and say, wow, I want to do my best for this person. I got their back. And I don't mean by having a knife in your back. I mean they really have your back, and they want to see you hit goals, and they want to see you succeed and achieve in practice. That's who you want to surround yourself with, docs. Okay? And if you don't have that, if you don't feel great about going in there every single day and I can't see my team, can't wait to see my team, I can't wait for my morning huddle, I can't wait for all together in the same place, another great day, it's going to be awesome, we're going to have a lot of fun here in the practice. And you might be thinking, Mike, you live in La La Land, it's not possible. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I see it all the time. This is what we do. We coach people to have better lives in practice. And if your life doesn't look like that because of your staff, for starters, it's time to make some changes. It's okay to say, I've made a mistake on somebody I hired, let them go. I always talk about hire slow, fire fast, fire them, move on. Many of you listening to look at the labor laws in your state. You know, I live in I'm in Jersey and practice in my business in New Jersey and New York. There's more a lot of my businesses. We're at-will states. If you live in an at-will state, you can hire and fire at will, and they can leave, come and go as they want at will. Okay, now look, of course, you have to, in this day and age, be sensitive about who you hire and fire, and your practices in doing this. There are legalities right now that you have to be, look at and into and everything else. All right, but that's something you get advice from, and then but ultimately, if you know, you have to move on from something. There's a way out of everything. Okay, but most of the time, it's not that. Most of the time, it's just sheer how am I going to find someone good to replace them? Right? What am I going to do without this person for the good things that they offer in the practice? Okay, well, again, can't live in fear and be tied to that. There is a way to hire people. There's a way to attract good people. Your mentality has to be an abundance mentality when it comes to staff. There are nothing but great people out there looking for the right practice like yours to be in your practice. But you have to know how to attract them. You have to know how to write the ads, where to run the ads, how to interview these people. This is what we do. This is what we spend a lot of time, and it's amazing, how few doctors, one of their weakest areas, they're phenomenal clinicians in assessing what's going on with the hard tissue and soft tissue of a human being's mouth, but they cannot for the life of them assess what's going on with this human being in terms of their mental state, or their spiritual state, or their emotional state that's in my practice. And to what cost? Just like if you didn't know what you were doing when it came to looking at a mouth to diagnose it and assess what's going on, to recommend treatment, to approach a mouth, to treat it. It's just as detrimental if you cannot assess this and do this with people on other levels like I just spoke about. You have to develop the skill in this and work in this area. It's so important. And I hope that over the years of my clients working with me, they've gotten better at this over time. Okay, there's an art and skill to this as well. To learn the skill with people. Believe me, I understand. Understanding people and assessing people are not easy, but I try to coach people on that a lot. There's a lot of variables when it comes to human beings. There really is. But I can tell you one thing, right? If they're bringing in, again, all this negativity into your practice, it's nothing but resistance in your practice, unwillingness. They don't show up, they don't come in. There's always a problem in life. There's, illnesses. Granted, illnesses happen. Personal things happen in practice. But if their whole life is one dramatic problem after another, first they're sick, then they're out, then there was an accident, then someone passed out, and it's a cycle that goes on like that. That's a function of what's going on in that person's world, in their universe. People kind of just pull that stuff in. You got to hear me on this. It's nothing else. You try to make it something else, it's not something else, right? You need people that are going to be there, that have their what together, and have their all their ducks in a row, their life's in order. They're coming there. They're able to be there and focus at work, and they're trainable, and they're coachable, and they're willing, and they're playing the game every day. And they say, Doc, what do you need me to do? How can I help you get there? And here's the other thing: anybody can be your staff member and be a team member. Okay, when things are going great. Real easy to be in a relationship, isn't it? For those of you listening out there, use your personal life as an example. Anybody can be in relationships when it's going good, all right? But what about when the chips are down and when things are going bad and you've hit a rough spot and you're feeling like you're down in the dumps and numbers are down and we haven't hit goals in a long time and we're running through some really rough times in practice and everything? You'll see the true people rise to the top and rise to the occasion to help you out of it. It's not like, oh, Doc, sorry, here you have such a hard time. You're on your own, right? As long as you keep giving me my paycheck. So again, these are indicators. Look for these indicators in your practice. Your staff are speaking to you, whether they're talking to you or not. Look around. See what they're doing. How are they acting? How are they behaving? All right? And this will help you, when you do that, it's going to help you begin to have awareness of what kind of environment we have and what kind of practice we should have in terms of our staff. And believe me, right, just as staff can, pull people into your practice and have patients be attracted to your practice, they, by the way they are and how they're being about what they're doing, and with you and the others, in your practice, could be driving them away. All right, and the insidious thing is you don't even realize. It's lucky when you find out if somebody's doing something overtly, and you see it to upset a patient or drive away. It's the ones that are covert in their operations and what they're doing and their behavior, okay, that really are dangerous, right? So again, right, this is not a scare video. This is a wake-up call video. If you're watching this, and I am the #1 fan of staff, #1 fan. There's not a bigger advocate in this field for doing what I do, and I trust and believe in it. But again, if you're going to give them this amazing environment to work in, if you're going to be good to them, you're going to take care of them, you're going to give them good pay and good benefits and a great work environment and a great practice, and they are going to basically, not, be happy about that, not be thankful for that, and better yet, not go to bat for you, not support you, not get you where you want to be in life and practice. Time to move on, right? So take this to heart, okay? I do. I'm very passionate. I'm sorry, I'm off my my rant now, all right? But again, it's a big area because I see this all the time, okay? And this is not what's holding you back. In most of the time in practice, it's not your clinical skills. It's not about that you don't have a nice practice or a beautiful facility. You don't do good dentistry and and all those wonderful things, right? It's really a lot of it has to do with the people that you have in your practice, right? Starts and ends with your staff. Take a look, assess, reassess, and get on that path to having the best possible team for you possible. All right, thanks for watching this video. I hope it didn't blow you away with it too much, but once in a while, you need a little bit of a wake-up call. And I'll be back with another episode soon. Share this one. Love hearing your feedback. Love hearing your any suggestions for topics as well.